One of the most common questions I've gotten ever since starting a YouTube channel is actually not even a wristwatch based question at all. It pertains to, I guess, my personal tastes. Sounds a bit naughty, but in reality, people just want to know what YouTube channels I personally subscribe to and why. So today we're going to be going over all of my favorite YouTube channels, first being watch-related YouTubes and YouTubes. That's like what my parents say.
Oh, you did one of those YouTubes today? That's nice. Why didn't you go to medical school?
First, we're going to be talking about all the wristwatch YouTubers that I follow, and then we're going to branch out to some non-watch related content, because the truth is, there's a whole bunch of stuff on YouTube, and a lot of which, it's just very diverse, so I'm not just, you guys know me by now, I'm all over the place. So grab a snack, sit back, and remember, just because I didn't mention someone on this list doesn't mean I don't like them. We're just going over my favorites today. So let's check it out. It is 3:01 p.m. Let's get down to business. Now, as always, guess which watch is on my wrist. At the end of the episode, we're going to be doing a wristwatch check, so comment right now. What do you think I'm wearing? All right, so on to my favorite YouTube channels. First, I'm going to mention someone who really truly helped me out. I can't thank this guy enough. I think he is incredibly knowledgeable. I think he is much more knowledgeable than me. Probably one of the most knowledgeable wristwatch YouTubers out there. None other than Federico from Federico Talks Watches. He was the first big horology based channel that ever acknowledged me or mentioned me. He's been doing it a bit longer than me, and I remember I had not very many subscribers at all, and he mentioned me in one of his episodes, and then a whole bunch of people showed up to my channel and started commenting, hey, Federico sent me here, Federico sent me here, and I was just blown away because I'd been subscribed to Federico Talks Watches for a while before I started thinking about doing my own YouTube channel. So I had to mention him first. Federico, thanks so much for, mentioning me all those years ago, and thanks for being a friend. So yeah, Federico Talks Watch is definitely one of my favorite YouTube channels. Next up, easily the nicest guy in the biz, Jody. Just one more watch. So again, it's kind of funny talking about these guys because I know a lot of these dudes and we're cordial with each other and we're friends with each other, but I'm not just talking about the people themselves. I'm also talking about the content they create. And one thing I absolutely love about Jody and his channel is you can really see his passion. You can see his excitement, and he, it's no BS. It's no BS with Jody. He's much nicer about things than me. Again, I think he's probably the nicest dude in the business. But he's very knowledgeable, and he likes what he likes, and he doesn't like what he doesn't like, and he's not scared to show it on his channel. And he has a very diverse, spectrum of what he talks about, and a lot of which is, micro brand stuff. So although I do Micro Brand Monday, Jody really kills it. He is kind of the micro brand reviewer. So yeah, just one more watch, easily one of my favorite watch YouTube channels. Next up, when we're talking about the nicest, most pristine, crispiest, craziest, high quality, high def, cotton 4K footage, Watchfinder, how are they not on the list, right? Even if you just watch it on mute, let's say you don't like the accent, although I happen to love the accent, you could literally just put it on the background, watch it on mute, and dude, his visuals, his macro shots, his lighting, everything he does is perfect. So Watchfinder & Co. Yeah, if you just like looking at watches, that's the channel you should subscribe to, because it's a channel I subscribe to just look at the watches. It's the beautiful, beautiful footage. Next up, a channel that has, absolutely shown what hard work, dedication, and commitment can do. Teddy Baltazar. Man, I remember, I started before Teddy. I remember he was just someone that would comment on my videos, and look at him now. He's, crushing it. He's killing the game. He has a huge, again, a very big spectrum of what he talks about. He talks about affordable, more entry-level pieces, and he gets his hands on some very, very high-end pieces. And one thing I love about Teddy's content is he branches out and talks to other personalities and other people. He has Kevin O'Leary and some other personalities that he's interacted with talking about watches. So it's very impressive what he's been able to accomplish. I'm very excited to see every time he uploads something what he has going on. And he's just a great guy. But really nice, crisp content, very interesting, novel ideas, talking to other people, bringing other personalities into the wristwatch space. So yeah, I find his content very entertaining. And again, great guy. So Teddy Baltazar, definitely a channel you should subscribe to if you haven't already. Like, what are you doing? Next up, perhaps one of the most underrated watch channels ever. I know that they just broke 100,000 subscribers. Congratulations to Swiss Watch Gang, one of my favorite all-time wristwatch-based YouTube channels. If you're talking about like really, really impressive footage, but also watches that you probably, might not have the opportunity to get your hands on in person. Marco over at Swiss Watch Gang, he has incredibly high-end, very unique pieces, and just a professional team of content creators over there when it comes to editing, when it comes to cinematography. They crush it over at Swiss Watch Gang. So great job. And again, guys, super underrated. He should have more subscribers than me, for sure. So please check out Swiss Watch Gang. Tell them the Time Teller sent you. Next up, this is a YouTube channel technically because they do have a YouTube channel, but really it's a podcast. Watch Cringe. Jay and Bren, they are personal friends of mine, but if you want to talk about wonky, knucklehead, fun, orology content, I think a lot of people, resonate with me and my content, so they come here. If you like that, you should also be listening and watching the stuff that Watch Cringe puts out, because this is proof that, this hobby is just for fun at the end of the day. So these guys, if you think I don't take it seriously, just give them a shot, listen to them, and you can find just how little watches can be taken seriously, if that makes sense. I absolutely love them. Watch Cringe podcast. Check them out on YouTube and Spotify and everywhere. Next up, another really cool, accessible watch channel. That's one of my personal favorites, Just the Watch. I've interacted with Dave. He's been in some of my personal content over here at the Time Teller channel. He's a great guy, but the content he makes, not only does it look nice, but again, he is kind of succeeding where I also wanted to spark my channel off, which is kind of bringing people into the hobby, not intimidating people, just showing people that you can just like watches. And he talks about some really accessible, fun pieces, and you can tell he just makes content because he likes watches, but the content also happens to be very well polished and it looks very nice. So Just the Watch, again, they recently broke past 100,000 subscribers. You should check them out because, awesome content. And finally, when it comes to wristwatch YouTube channels, one of my personal favorites, and it's been my favorite for a long time, Random Rob. Dude, double R, baby. Random Rob, you might never see his face, might just be some talking hands there. But truthfully, this is when you look at his channel, that is what a YouTube watch channel should be in its simplest form, right? It's literally talking about the watch. Don't have to worry about me. Don't have to worry about my personality. Just check out this watch and I'm going to talk to you about it. And that's what I absolutely love about Random Rob. No frills. Literally, you want to talk about watches, bada bing, bada boom. Here's the watch in my hands. And that's it. In and out, simple. And he's been doing it a very long time. He's a professional. He has an awesome channel. You guys should all be checking him out. So it goes without saying, all of these channels I subscribe to, you should subscribe to as well. And I'm going to leave links to all of them in the description below. Now, to some of the non-watch related channels I subscribe to, because I know that's going to be the next question. So let's just answer it here. First up, Lo-Fi Girl. That's right. Lo-Fi hip-hop music to study to, or whatever. It's funny. I've been following or subscribing, I guess, to this channel since the dawn of time, essentially. Like, honestly, when I was compiling this list for today's episode, guess what was on in the background? Lo-Fi Girl. Yeah, it's not that I love the music. That's not the type of music I listen to when I'm like in the gym or when I'm driving around. But when I'm working, when I'm writing stuff or I mean, I don't do much editing anymore, but when I'm like looking over stuff, having that lo-fi music, it really is just easy music to study and chill to. So, I mean, there's like a bajillion, it's like a constant live feed, and there's like a bajillion people always there listening to it, doing the same thing I am, probably writing or looking things over, editing things, and they just want to have something on in the background. So Lo-Fi Girl, check it out. It's so funny, so random, but hey, it's a channel I love. Next up, Misha Charadin. I'm probably mispronouncing his name. This dude is a legit racer, man. When we're talking about driving some insane cars, he takes it to Nürburgring, all these different cars. He has such a huge footprint now in the automotive space that people will travel from all over Europe to bring their cars to Nürburgring and have him, do some hot laps with their very expensive cars. So you see a very, very diverse catalog of cars. Like, if you want to see a car pushed to the limit, chances are Misha has driven it around Nürburgring. So, his channel's awesome. In the same vein, when we're talking about cars, because again, guys, this is going to be an ongoing theme. I love watches. I love cars. Collecting cars. I was a huge fan of Chris Harris on cars. He is also awesome racing driver, knows a ton about cars. He kind of moved away from his own channel, and he's making content with collecting cars. And so, he has probably a bigger team behind him, so he's able to get his hands on more vehicles and make longer form, more interesting content. And it's really helped him out, I'm sure. And I'm just happy that there's a channel I can watch him on. So Chris Harris, but specifically on the Collecting Cars channel. And real quick, the last car channel I want to bring up is Haggerty. They're a huge automotive business at this point, and they have a bunch of really fun list episodes, some history episodes, and I actually insure one of my vehicles through Haggerty, so shout out Haggerty. Not a sponsor, although I wish they were. Next up, one of my personal hobbies is fish keeping. That's right, I'm a huge nerd, and I love fish and fish tanks, and MD Fish Tanks, this Brit, he kind of looks like me, bald head, beard, and he, like, everything he does is perfect when it comes to aquascaping, setting up tanks from the ground up. Everything works out perfectly, so pristine. His water is always clear. The fish never die off. He's just incredibly knowledgeable. He has like 2 studio spaces filled with tanks, and he's always building new tanks. He has some awesome content. So if you're into something very tranquil to kind of zone out and watch, MD Fish Tanks, man. Awesome. Moving on to some content that's not at all tranquil, quite the opposite. True crime. That's right. I love watching true crime when Connie and I are chilling with each other and we're done with work. Why not throw on a crazy, gory murder mystery, right? So that chapter, it's this, I believe, Irishman named Mikey, and he makes some content on some pretty brutal, unfortunate stories, but he's very witty, he's very quick, and he makes it fun in a way. I know it's kind of morbid to say, but if you're into true crime, that chapter does it very, very well. And if you want to take it even further, Dreading True Crime and Psychology, or I think they just call it Crime and Psychology, that's very long form content, and it's this guy and his brother, I believe, work on writing these very, very in-depth, long-form analysis of true crime stories. And so Dreading, I know their channel's like about a year old, and it has blown up to over 400,000 subscribers. So easily one of my favorite channels, does a great job. Next up, administrative results. That's right, the talking balaclava. Never seen his face, although someday I hope to. I always wonder, who is it behind that mask? Is it Travis Haley? I don't think so. But very, very fun content that I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about on this channel because I'm probably going to get demonetized. But if you're into Second Amendment and you like to have fun and you don't take things that seriously, administrative results is awesome, dude. He's funny. He has awesome visuals. He's always in a very period correct getup, and he's always wearing a balaclava. Everyone, please spam his channel right now on his most recent episode and say the Time Teller wants to know how much for an over the mask kiss. That's right. If I could kiss him over the mask, or maybe a Spider-Man kiss. Let's make that happen. Next up, Grand Thumb. Administrative results in Grand Thumb, they're like BFFs at this point. Mike at Grand Thumb does great content. Again, he has fun. Former TAC-P, I believe. So this guy was like a legit operator, actually did stuff. And it's fun to see these guys that, actually know what they're talking about, talk about it, and have fun with it. So yeah, Grand Thumb, if you're into, again, Second Amendment, then go ahead and subscribe over there and tell them the Time Teller sent you. Because guess what? Administrative results and Grand Thumb, they both wear watches. So it's fun to see the watches out in the field doing some high-speed tactical ooga booga. Really fun. And finally, the last channel that I really want to mention is this channel called Continue. And it's Continue with a question mark. Now, these guys have been making content for like over a decade, pretty much. And this is going to be a little short story, all right? So a little over a decade ago, I sustained an injury that essentially left me bedridden. I broke both my legs, okay? And I wasn't really in a good place because when that happens to you and you're stuck in bed, it like sucks, right? And at the time, I didn't really have any like video game consoles hooked up. I had stuff, but it was like in storage, and I wasn't really a big gamer at that point, and I didn't really care about Let's Plays. Like, I didn't want to go on YouTube and watch someone else play a video game because I didn't see the point in that. But these dudes, way back when, it's literally 3 friends on a couch, and it I guess technically is a Let's Play, but it's really not about the game at all. It's about the conversations that they are having amongst themselves, and it literally felt like I was able to just hang out with these 3 dudes. And it's funny because they have about 200,000 subscribers, and they've been doing it for so long. I know that, like, I think Nick has a kid at this point. Well, I know he has a kid at this point. And I think Paul is married. I don't know about Josh, what he's doing with his life. But I know that they all have lives outside of YouTube at this point, and it's awesome to see that all these years later, they're still making this content, hanging out with each other, and it's like they haven't missed a beat. It's like still the same type of content, and it's still very endearing. And I just wanted to say that they really helped me out for, like, in a pretty dark spot in my life, and I wish that they could know that. I've never interacted with them. But yeah, if you guys want to all spam their channel and say the Time Teller sent them, and maybe link them this episode, that'd be awesome, because they really helped me out, I feel like. So Continue, gotta love them. So guys, there you have it. All of my personal favorite YouTube channels that I subscribe to. I'm going to be leaving links to all of these channels in the description of this episode. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard of these channels. If you haven't, please check them out. Maybe hit a subscribe button over on their channels. And if you haven't subscribed over here, what are you doing? Subscribe over here. Yeah, guys, love you. I just wanted to make this episode to say thanks to all these content creators that have helped me out along the way and that I've been able to work with. That, you know, I just want to show there's a large, diverse catalog of content to watch on YouTube. So take advantage and have some fun with it. All right, guys, leave me a comment. Let me know, what's your favorite YouTube channel? I will catch you on the next one. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. Always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it. All right, guys, I am wearing my Casio twin sensor
Oh yeah, it's not a G-Shock, baby. It ain't a G-Shock.
It's better than a G-Shock.